Hello and thanks for joining me. See all these beautiful pop can flowers that I made out of pop cans. I didn't think I would have time to make a video on this week because my boys are out of school for a couple days, but they went outside to play since it's a nice day, and hopefully I can get this done before they're wanting to come back in. So let me get these out of the way and we'll get started. You just need a pop can, beer can, V8 can, whatever type of beverage you like to drink. In fact, this is a generic can that my neighbor gave me because she knows I like orange a lot. And I take these off and save these for the Ronald McDonald House. And then you also need a scissors. This scissors is not a Stampin' Up! Scissors, but we do have one. I had this prior to becoming a demo. And we have a craft and rubber scissors on page 199 that will cut a can like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the top and we're going to cut off the bottom, and we're going to use this main section here. So this scissors does this perfect. Just kind of cut that mouth part. I hope this noise doesn't bother anybody. We did this at my club and they just loved it, but the noise was a little aggravating after about 6 of these. Okay, so notice I cut all the way down to this kind of lip right here on the can where the can goes out. We're going to put our scissors in here. I'm going to cut around. If the doorbell rings, that means my boys need something. So I'm going to have to stop the video, see what they need, and come back. Okay, so we got that cut off, so I'm just going to throw that away. And then I find the seam. There's usually a seam or something right along where it tells the nutritional value. And let me see, I'm going to cut right here along the UPC code. You just cut down. And you're going to cut till the end of the color. And then we're going to cut the bottom off. So you just wiggle your scissors in there and cut around. And of course you're going to want to clean and dry your can before you do this. Okay, mine was a little bit wet. I did grab a paper towel just in case. You think these are dry when they set overnight, but okay, so then I just dry that inside out. And then we're going to use this Flower Daisies number 2 die from Stampin' Up. There are 3, hope you can see this, but there's 3 flowers. A big one, and then a medium one, and then there's a small one over here. I cover up the 2 big ones first, so I take the main part of the design of the can and I really look at where that goes. It's covering both of them, and then I flip it over and I cut off this excess because I don't want that to go through my big shot. And this die is also a Stampin' Up! Die. Okay, so then it's covered like this. I'm going to grab my big shot. It's good to twist it in the light here to make sure that you have them all covered. Take your bottom plate and your top plate, and you're going to run it through the big shot. Okay, we're just not done. I'm going to put this off to the side, but we still have one more to do. Let me move this over here. Kind of getting a glare. Okay, now you can save these 2 little round things if you want to decorate your brad. I'm going to set those to the side. But as you can see, here's the medium flower that came out. And then here's the big flower. Oh, I love orange. There's the big flower. So now we need to do the little flower. And luckily, you should be able to have enough right here on the can in order to do that. So I usually just snip this off. That we're going to throw away. If you don't have enough, if you can always use this part of the can too. It's going to be more white or whatever, silver, whatever the UPC is, but hopefully we'll have enough and we'll be able to do that. Okay, so the little flower is right here. You can see that. And I just have to make sure that I'm careful looking in the light. Make sure I got all the little petals of the flower. I'm gonna sandwich it again through both of my plates. Pull my Big Shot back over and run it through. So if you don't get this part right, if you do it and you're like, oh, it missed a petal, it didn't work right. Sometimes you won't be able to tell if you just cut a little bit of the tip off. And then if you do, just use that other part of the UPC section. So then once you have your 3 flowers, I cut out a 1 1/4 circle. Okay, I'm back. You know, I decided I'm going to use a 1-inch punch instead of a 1 1/4. I don't want that big of a size. There's still glue on there. I'm going to put a little bit more on. They wanted me to jump rope, so I'm going to have to go outside after this here. All right. Then I'm going to cover that hole up. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to set that aside and let that dry. Ooh, I hope I did that inside the camera. Okay. You're going to let that dry. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and jump rope, and I'll be back once that dries. And I'll show you how I attach the brad. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to get my mat pack out here so I can punch, or I should say pierce a hole in the middle of my flower. So I put that on my mat pack, and I'm going to just kind of gauge that there in the middle. I'm going to push this all the way through, make it a little bit bigger. And then this is where I'm going to stack my flowers on top of each other. I usually put the smaller one, the little petals, in between the medium. Try to look and see that that's lined up there. This is a brad I have from my stash. It matches the orange, so I just have to use it. This is a great way to use brads that you don't have, that you might not use on other things. And then you're going to push that through that hole, and you're going to line it up again. Now I usually do the big petal flower and put the middle flower in between the 2 petals of the big one, and then I line my little one up with the bigger flower. And when you have it like you like it, you just turn around, open up the prongs, and there you go. Now you could put this, you can still move it once you have that on there. You could put this on a scrapbook page if you don't mind that it's not acid free. You could put it on a card, which I am thinking about making some cards with mine. Or you could also put in an additional, get that back here, you could also put in another flower, or excuse me, circle on the back. And with all those other flowers, it doesn't show. This is the 1 1/4 punch. And if you do that, you can add one of these pins, jewelry finding pins I got at the store. Get it out here. And you could add that to the back and put it on a hat, a jean jacket, a coat. One of my friends is going to do one of the cans in the school colors, and she's going to make some for teacher gifts. So there's a lot of possibilities for these little flowers here. I'm just going to see if I can stick that right back on because it had some glue, and that'll cover up the brad and keep that even just a little bit more tight, or a little more tight. Okay, so that's how you make these pop can flowers. There's the generic orange. Here is a Fanta orange drink. Here is a V8. This one is when I used a bigger brad and actually used the middle of the can to see how that would work. This is a Pepsi Max. This is one of my favorites. This is a Diet Squirt. This is a Guinness can. Coca-Cola. Old Milwaukee. Oh, a Sunkissed Love. Raspberry Lipton tea. This is one of those, oh, I said peace out. It was a tea can. I'm not quite sure the name of it. My neighbor had it. And this made 2. This was an actual one of those bigger cans. This made 2. Diet Pepsi, which is my drink. And then here is a 7-Up, cherry 7-Up, which I think would look really cool on a Christmas card, which I'm going to try to use for maybe next week. So there's the ones that I have made, and I hope you enjoyed it and have fun creating.